turn English sentences into questions by just adding one extra word. Who are you coming to the party with? I could have asked this a different way. You're coming to the party with who? Why would I ask it in the second way? Well, sometimes you want to emphasize that you know everything else. You know they're coming to the party. I'm showing that I'm aware of that, but I'm just missing one piece of information. Who? And by tagging that onto the end of a sentence, I can turn the whole thing into a question that really means the same as the words above. Now, let's imagine you're on the phone and you're asking for someone's details. And you ask, what's their name? The response is Daniel. But you want to know more than that. So you ask, Daniel who? And here what you've done is you know the first name, but not the second name. So by repeating the first name and then saying who afterwards, you're turning it into a question that really means, what is Daniel's second name? But you can say it much more simply by simply saying Daniel who. Now, have you ever had to move house? These people are doing that, and they say this, I'm moving out of my home. But there's so much more involved when you move house, isn't there? Someone may say this, oh, okay, moving where? And by saying moving, followed by where, what we mean is that we know everything else, we know you're moving, but we don't know the location. Please tell me. It's the same as saying, where are you moving to? But we can make this shorter and simply a statement turned into a question by adding where at the end. Moving where? In the same way, if you know everything else but not the time, you could say this instead. Moving when? When at the end of a statement turns it into a question, meaning please add the time. What are these people doing here? Have you ever thought of doing this? I'm going to jump out of an aeroplane. Now the response might be this, and in fact you might say it too. You're doing what? You're doing what? Adding what at the end of this statement means one of these three things. Firstly, it could mean, I didn't hear clearly. Repeat. You're doing what? Oh, I'm jumping out of an aeroplane. Oh, okay, I didn't hear the first time. Thank you for clarifying. That's the first possibility. The second possibility is that you're surprised. I'm going to jump out of an aeroplane. You're doing what? There, you're showing surprise. But it could also mean the third. You're doing what? If you say it in a disapproving way, it could mean that you disapprove of what they're doing. You're doing what? Are you crazy? That's a very dangerous thing to do. There are other variations with what. This lady cannot find her game. She tells someone, I can't find the Tiddlywinks game in my cupboard. And the response is, you can't find the what? Now here, what means the same as it did in the previous example, but we've added the. And by adding the, it makes the question more specific to the noun. The, for example, tells us there's only one thing. It may also mean I heard everything up to the word the, but I didn't hear or understand the word afterwards. Here's another example with what. Imagine you're going to say this, I'm going to wrap his present. In what? Here I use in the preposition followed by what. And this means give me extra information relating to the preposition. And this is quite a common way of asking a simple question with this extra question word at the end. In what? For what? So what? We can also turn this the other way round. And instead of saying in what, we could say what in? What for? These people are just coming out of school. Perhaps a parent learns about it and says to the children, I believe you are leaving school early. Is that correct? Now that's fine, but it's a little bit informal. We could have asked this a different way. You're leaving school early today, right? Now, why would we use right at the end here? It's not even a question word. Yet, using right at the end of this statement turns it into a question. It means this. Isn't that correct? In a very informal way. So you can add right at the end of any in statement if it's informal, and if you do that, you're turning it into a question that's checking with the person you're speaking to, meaning, is that correct? Similarly, this one. This boy looks upset. So you ask him, why are you upset? And in his explanation, he says, they aren't playing properly. See? Now, see sounds more like an exclamation than a question here. And really what see means is, look at the situation. This is why. They aren't playing properly, see? This is the situation. They aren't playing properly. This is why they aren't playing properly. Have you ever been on a trip with a tour guide? Imagine that you're doing that now. You're with a tour guide and she says, we're going to start our trip on the east side of the city. What about if she added the word okay at the end? What does that mean? Well, okay often means I agree, but here it actually means this is the instructions. Sometimes people say okay at the end with a question intonation, meaning this is what you have to do. It doesn't mean okay at all. It really means this is the instruction. Have you understood it? Are you going to follow it? And another one is here. Here's a book. Perhaps it's the guidebook for the tour. And someone says, you've read the guidebook, but you can turn it into a question by saying, yeah, at the end. You've read the guidebook, yeah? And this means, okay, or haven't you? We wouldn't normally say yes here, by the way. It's normally just yeah. So it's used informally. It's an informal way of saying yes, but in this situation, it really means a question. Haven't you? Learn much, much more about English speaking and pronunciation through my course. You can find out more through a link in the description below this video.